Hi everybody, welcome to a special episode of the Danger Zone Life podcast series with me, Jon Melby. I got a special episode here in store. We're going to talk about fear of the unknown and something I have to go face here in just a few minutes. So listen to the intro and I'll be right back. So here's the deal. Life is like a roller coaster ride, but there's a secret to having a fear-free life. A life that's outside of your comfort zone, where it's fun, exciting, and dream-fulfilling. That life is in the danger zone. Hi. My name is Jon Melby. I'm a professional airshow pilot, and this podcast will teach you the secrets and the tricks that have a life in the danger zone. Hi everybody, so I'm back at my hangar, and today I'm going to go out and fly, and I'm going to go do two new maneuvers. In my last podcast, I talked a little bit about having stick-to-itiveness, and this is like the time of the year that I want to be doing all this stuff, because I'd rather clown around and go play golf, but I have to go out and practice, because if I don't practice, I don't become any better, and I got to maintain my G-load tolerance, which is to make sure that I don't start to lose the blood in my eyes and I start graying out or even blacking out, which is worse, of course, because that means you're not going to make it back home. So staying on top of that is really important, but then also my airplanes, they need to fly, and if they just sit around, it's just not good for airplanes. And you could go to an airport, you could see the ones that have been sitting there for a long time, and they're not doing anything, and they've got weeds and flat tires, and I feel sorry for the planes, but I also feel sorry for the pilots because they're not flying them. So it's important to go out and fly them a little bit, and today I'm going to go fly the black airplane, the one right behind me here, and this is called a Pitts S111B, and it's a really cool airplane because it cruises at 200 miles an hour, and during the air show I'll fly anywhere from like 220 miles an hour down to zero because I can hover it. And the other thing is, part of the thing about the airplane is the high horsepower. So about 350 horsepower to 360, someplace in there. And so when I get full power on takeoff, I'm airborne in just a matter of a few seconds, accelerating 120, and I could pitch to the vertical and climb up to about 1,200 feet and just hover it like a helicopter. The airplane can tumble end over end, and it can also just pull some high G loads. And it's a classic biplane, so it's got two wings, and so it's one of my favorites because it is a biplane. I watched a movie a long time ago when I was a kid, and it's called The Great Waldo Pepper. It had Robert Redford in it. He's a barnstorming pilot, and he flew a biplane. And then one of the guys that he was flying against with a reenactment of World War I during a movie is he was flying a three-winged airplane. It was black and yellow checkerboard. So my airplane that I've had ever since I started flying air shows has always been a black and yellow checkerboard. This airplane, the one I had prior to that, because of that movie. Isn't that funny how a movie can have that much influence on you when you're a kid? So anyway, I'm going to go fly this airplane, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb into the cockpit here. Maybe I'll talk to you from inside. You want to see the cockpit? If you're watching on video, you can see it. Otherwise, if you're not watching on video and you're listening to this, it's pretty small. It's just a single seat cockpit, and it's got just basic instruments. And the cool part about this airplane is that it's just tight. It fits you like a glove. So when you get inside the airplane, so we're going to try it. We'll get in the airplane now, and when you get inside the plane, what's cool about it is it's got little pads. It has little pads along the side, and these pads keep it so you can't move side to side. It's tight. It's like driving a F1 race car, and so when you're flying around, there's no insulation, there's no heaters, no nothing. And if you take the headsets off, it's so loud. I mean, it's deafening. But it's really cool because it's just I don't know. It's kind of like a fun toy, but it's not a toy because it's too expensive as a toy. But it's really fun to fly, and I'm so happy and blessed, actually, to be able to do this because it's something I've always wanted to do. And so today, I've got my standard set of maneuvers that I do for probably about the last 2 or 3 years. So there's 27 maneuvers that I do in about 8.5 minutes, and I have those down to a science. They're pretty easy for me to do them, and it's safe. It's safe for me to do those kind of maneuvers, but I want to add a few more that are a little bit more aggressive. And in order to do that, though, I have to practice a lot. I can't just sit there and throw them in and go fly them. I have to do it 50 to 100 times in different weather scenarios to make sure I can hit it every time before I'll throw it in my routine. And that's why I've kept the other one so much the same. But for me as a pilot, I want to add on to it. And I have one maneuver where I pitch to a 45 degrees, I go left knife edge, and then I take the airplane to a right roll, and then I push forward on the stick and I make it go into an end over end front flip. That particular maneuver is fine on certain weather conditions, but if it changes, and if my air speeds are off or my weight is off or anything, it might not turn out the same. So I want to make sure I get it down so I know how to put the inputs into the controls to make sure it's right every time. But I haven't done that particular maneuver, not a lot, in about 2 years, just because it's one that I just have to practice a lot in order to maintain it. And so what I've been wanting to do is throw that in there, and today I'm going to go out and fly it. Today I'm going to go out and give it, I don't know, probably do like 4 or 5 of them and just see how they work out. And what I typically do is I take some graph paper and I put it down, like if I hit the airspeed at this angle as I climb up, 45, 55 degrees at this airspeed, and this is what the weather conditions were like outside. And I put all my results down in a graph paper. And then what I do is I got these sheets and I can use them and I just reference them, because these are maneuvers that are by feel, kind of like freestyle maneuvers, or they're ones like if gymnastics, you would see somebody practicing over and over and over again. You got to hit the mount, for example, just perfectly. So I have to hit my air speeds, my altitude perfectly in order for me to execute it. So we're talking about fear of the unknown. And to be honest, it's just, whenever you're out doing something that's outside of the norm, when you go outside of your comfort zone and you go into anything outside your comfort zone is going into the danger zone, where you've got to be prepared for it. When you do that and you step out, it's kind of an interesting thing, because it makes your heart beat and makes you feel like you're alive. I know that when I get done flying, my skin is flushed out because it's all red and I'm excited and I got endorphins running, I get testosterone running, and I feel like a champ, almost like Superman. But that's my normal flying. When you go out and do stuff like this, and you're going to go out and do these crazy maneuvers, and you're doing them to get back up to speed again, I have this fear. And I'm a professional airshow pilot, but I have this light fear. I got to be honest. What happens if this happens, or what happens if that happens? You got all these negative things hitting you. And one thing I know about the fear of the unknown, this is from years and years of experience, is that you have one angel over on this side and a little devil over on the other side of your shoulder, telling you stuff. So the devil's sitting there saying, oh, don't do it because all these bad things could happen. The angel's like, oh, you can do it. Don't worry about it. You've got the experience. You've got everything you need. Just do it safely and work your way up to it. And that is the fear of the unknown. It's constantly like that, and you have to press through it. And I know down inside my knower that everything's going to be okay. I could choose not to do it, but I know that I need to do it because, going back to my previous podcast about stick-to-itiveness, I have to become better at my craft than what I am today. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give it a whirl, and then we'll get this thing going. If you're listening to this podcast, that means everything turned okay because I have to upload it. So anyway, I'm not worried about that. Are you? So if you got something you have to do this week, today even, that's unknown to you and you're not familiar with it, prepare for it, and then do the Texas two-step. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and try to go out and conquer the unknown. All right, you have a great day, a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Do you want to learn more about how to live life in a danger zone? My name is Jon Melby, and I'm a professional airshow pilot. Go to my website at jonmelby.com, and I'll give you a free guide on how to deal with the unknown, along with other resources on how to manage fear in your life to make you a more confident, successful you.